teach you about different vegetables, everyday common vegetables that you might see in the grocery store and not know how to cook. And you also might not know that they're actually very, very nutritious for you. And each food has a different energy to it. So in my cooking, not only will I be showing you how to put different dishes together quickly and deliciously, but I'll also be telling you a little bit of the finer tuned things about the vegetable that you might not even know. What we're going to be preparing today, the main dish, is a sweet and sour seitan stew. Seitan itself, I'll show you it first. This is made from wheat flour. It's made from the gluten from the wheat. And the purpose of this, it was made up, or they came up with it in the Orient years ago, excuse me, as a meat substitute. Seitan is very high in protein, so I use it in my cooking for protein source. And it's amazing how you can grate it and put it into stews and lasagna or whatever. And meat is often very high in fat. So if you can substitute different products for protein, you'll be better off in the long run with your health. What I wanted to do is I've already prepared a few of the things here, and all I did with the seitan was I just cubed it into cubes. And so we'll just be putting this into our stew a little bit later. The next thing in our stew is going to be a Hokkaido pumpkin. This is it kind of looks like a buttercup squash, and this is a very, very, also very strong vegetable. It's orange, bright orange on the inside, and you might not realize it, but this squash, because it's so sweet, it nourishes your spleen pancreas. And so if you have problems with hypoglycemia or just a constant craving for sweets, you can really soften that by eating more sweet vegetables like the squash, or like sweet carrots, or like sweet onions. And so today, all I did is you need to use a strong knife when you're cutting these vegetables. So I have a strong straight edge knife, and so you just cut it in half. Please take care with your fingers when you're doing that. It's really tough. But you know that a vegetable is really strong for you when it's really strong. So just really, this is really hard. There we go, we got through the middle there. So you see on the middle, all you need to do is slice out the seeds, and then I just cubed it. So here I already sliced it, and it's already cubed for our stew. I used the skin on the squash because the skin on the vegetables actually nourishes our skin. And these are organic vegetables, and what that means is that there haven't been herbicides or pesticides applied to them or used during the growing process. And organically grown vegetables are really much higher in minerals than commercially grown vegetables. So organic vegetables are a really good way to go. The last ingredient now for our sweet and sour stew is leek. All I did here is I sliced the leek down the middle and washed it in the sink really good, so because sometimes there's dirt in the middle there. And this root part could actually also be used, but we don't need to use it today. I'll just save it for a stew or something. And then you just slice it down the middle and just cut it into big chunks. Okay? It's very easy to do, and I've also prepared some of those here. So now we have our ingredients for our stew. I'm a real in the kitchen and out of the kitchen type of cook, so this is a very simple stew with very few ingredients. I'll be seasoning it with a few more things after a while. Now, for the whole meal, what I'm going to be showing you is the sweet and sour seitan stew, and some brown rice, and some corn, and some kale, and a quick little radish. Brown rice is really easy to prepare, and you probably can find, regular rice is fine, but again, I prefer brown rice because of the whole grain. The whole grains itself has so many more nutrients compared to a white, polished white rice. The corn on the cob is really simple to do, and I'm not going to be showing that today either because most of us know how to just boils up some corn quickly. But what I will be showing is a vegetable that you might not know. This is kale. Kale is a very strong vegetable. You might have seen it in ornamental gardens. Sometimes they use it. Kale is so strong. I can go out in the middle of winter and brush the snow off of the kale and then bring it into the kitchen and cook. So you know that if a vegetable can survive the coldness of the winter, then it's also going to make me very strong and hardy, compared to like iceberg lettuce, right? On the first frost, it's gone. So it's not as nourishing or strengthening as the kale is. Kale, along with collards and broccoli, these vegetables are very high in calcium. So if you've chosen to possibly not eat dairy products in your diet because of a lactose intolerance or some other reason, you can really get your calcium that you need from leafy green vegetables. I mean, this is the way that animals get it, right? They just eat the greens. All you do here is just pull the stem and the leaves come right off. We'll do 3 of them here. I usually figure 1 stalk per person that I'm cooking for. And then all you need to do is cut your vegetable. I'll move this out of the way here. Cut your stems, because we're going to be cooking those first. And then I just tear up my greens here, or cut them up, whatever you prefer. Okay, so we've basically prepared our vegetables that we need, and the next thing that I want to do is prepare the radish for the pickle. When I use it, I like to use the whole thing. We could easily just blanch it in with the kale, but today what I'm going to be doing is just grating the radish for our pickle. To give us color is very important on your plate. Whenever you're making a meal, it's just terrible to sit down to a brown plate of food and have it all just slide down your throat. So always in my cooking, I'm very aware of different textures and different colors. And it's very easy to do. I'll talk a little bit later about the 5 different tastes and how we use them in our cooking. So you just grate this real quickly, and you can see we have a nice bright red pink color, and we're going to be mixing that with sauerkraut in a little while for our pickle. Okay? Now we'll go to the stove.